This is a story about a prodigy. In 1989, the blues legend B.B. King was touring across the U.S., and one night he's playing in Rochester, New York. His opening act that night had been chosen by the club. It was a local blues guitarist who had been playing around upstate New York for years. But when B.B. King saw this guitarist play, he was in awe. He liked him so much that he asked him to join the tour, and they would play about 20 more shows together. But the thing that stunned B.B. King the most is that this guitarist, who went by the name Smokin' Joe Bonamassa, was only 12 years old.
I could tell you all about him, but instead, why don't you just watch this?
Joe Bonamassa had grown up just outside Utica, New York, and he came from a long tradition of musicians. His great-grandfather and grandfather had both been trumpet players in jazz bands. His father played guitar and ran a music store and loved bands like Black Sabbath and Mountain. And while Joe did try the trumpet, it was obvious early on that guitar was his instrument. He started playing at around 4 or 5, and by the time he was 7, he was better than his dad.
Who's the better guitar player?
Well, he's been playing longer than I have, but I'm a little more technical than he is.
You're being polite.
Yeah.
You're better.
Yeah.
Growing up in Utica, it was usually cold or rainy or snowy, so Joe spent a lot of time inside listening to records and learning to play the guitar. He had some formal lessons from a local jazz player named Carmen Carmonica, but mostly he taught himself. The first song he learned was Eric Clapton's version of Further On Up the Road. Then he discovered all the guitar greats. Jimi Hendrix, Stevie Ray Vaughan, Eric Johnson. He was really influenced by Gary Moore. He learned by listening to cassette tapes, rewinding the same part over and over again until the tape was destroyed. Then he started improvising his own solos over his favorite records, imagining what it would be like to be in the band. By 9 years old, Joe Bonamassa started playing in nightclubs around New York. But his career really took off when he was 12 and met B.B. King. He learned a lot from B.B. King. He was amazed at how recognizable B.B. King's playing was, that you would know it was him from just one note. He also loved his singing. He said that at one concert, B.B. King's singing literally brought him to tears. Joe opening for B.B. King became a big story. He appeared on TV as part of this show called Real Life with Jane Pauley. The Bonamassa family started getting flooded with phone calls. Managers and agents literally found their number in the phone book, since they were the only Bonamassas in Utica. Joe ended up signing with this manager named Roy Weissman. Roy assumed that with Joe's talent and the publicity of the B.B. King tour, they were sure to get a record deal with a major label. But nobody was exactly sure what to do with a middle school blues guitar virtuoso. At the time, he didn't write his own songs and he didn't sing, and going into the 1990s, blues was not the most marketable genre. So Roy and Joe got the idea that maybe Joe should be part of a band.
But we'd like to introduce to you Waylon Krieger. His father was in the Doors. Barry Oakley Jr., his father was in the Allman Brothers. And Smokin' Joe Bonamassa, is that right?
How is it that you get the name Smokin' Joe? I don't see Smokin' Joe. I look at you, my baloney has a first name.
And since 2 of them were sons of famous musicians, they thought, what if we get more sons of famous musicians? They got Miles Davis's son, Aaron Davis, to play drums, and then for a little bit, they had Sammy Hagar's son, Aaron Hagar, on vocals. Now this band, which they called Bloodline, did get the interest of some major labels, and they ended up signing to EMI. The band did a lot of touring, and they released one album which was a moderate success, but nobody else except for Joe really wanted to stick to the blues. It was the mid-1990s, and the rest of the band wanted to move in a more alternative rock direction. So the band broke up, and Joe Bonamassa was solo again, although his manager, Roy Weissman, stuck by him. And shortly after Bloodline broke up, Roy got a package from Joe. It was a demo tape. He said, "Here's me attempting to sing."
I can tell you, baby, I ain't no fool walking my shadow. I can't take it anymore.
Finally, in 2000, Joe Bonamassa released his debut solo album, A New Day Yesterday. The album went top 10 on the US Blues album charts, and after that, Joe Bonamassa didn't look back. He released another 16 studio albums and 20 live albums, with his most recent, released in February of 2026, being a tribute to his old friend B.B. King. B.B. King passed away in 2015, but 2025 would have been his 100th birthday. So to honor him, Joe Bonamassa put together an all-star lineup of musicians to pay tribute. When B.B. King talked about first meeting Joe Bonamassa in 1989, he said that the thing that makes a great blues player is timing. He said he couldn't really explain it, but he knew that Joe Bonamassa had it.